Well, hello, it's Norma Reel from Norma's Quilt Studio, and I want to talk to you about applique techniques. Here's our quilt all ready to go, and we're going to talk about 3 techniques. Technique number 1 is the trim feature with the free motion and how you can enhance it with some free motion and add some more feathers, and I'm going to show you that technique. So first off, we're going to start out with this big area of applique, and we're going to put in a background, and then we're going to trim around the applique. So the background I'm going to place is Abundant Feathers by Three Sisters. I do that first. Then I'm going to trim around the applique on the quilt first. You use the Draw Trim feature, which is Alt-T for short, and you're going to select that, and then you're going to click around the applique on the quilt until you have it trimmed out like this. We're not done yet. We're going to trim some more because we really want to trim in those areas between the applique on the CAD screen where it doesn't look complete. So we're going to do that. We're going to manually trim out some more. Then we're going to stitch out the background, and I'm going to do a little video here of me stitching it. Hi, it's Norma from Norma's Quilt Studio, and I'm working on feathers tonight. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how the machine is moving around making the feathers. This is a computerized digital program doing an all-over feathers right now on this Blue Applique Quilt. I can't wait to show you this quilt. I've done a lot of special features on it. I'm going to stop it right there because I stop and go around the applique, but I wanted you to see how pretty the feathers are, and so I'm kind of moving around the quilt to show you. I did do double batting on this quilt. I wanted to get all the features of the texture into this quilt so you can see how detailed that the feathers look with the double batting and how it really pops everything out. So I'm about right here. I still have to go down to this end. And this is actually the top of the quilt. I loaded it backwards so that I could work on the bottom of the quilt first because I had scallops to deal with. So I've showed you a few pictures, and I will show you more as I go, and I am almost finished. Yay! We trimmed on the quilt, we trimmed on the CAD because we needed it to look more complete, so we wanted to take out the little spots. And now we're going to do some free motion to add some features around that applique where it didn't look complete to make it look more of a complete look. So I did a video sample on this for you so that you could actually see what I'm talking about because it's kind of hard to explain. So let's look at the video on how I did that after my trimming. Alrighty, this is Norma from Norma's Quilt Studio, and I'm talking to you a little bit today about the trim method and how you can trim out around your applique. And when you trim out around your applique, it does this stop, and the stitches stop, and so then sometimes it leaves the designs feeling not complete. So what I do is I tend to go in, especially with a feather design, and add these feathers. These are all hand free motion quilted in there to make them look complete so it matches your other feathers and makes this whole thing feel more complete with your applique. So this up here is one I left undone just to show you. It kind of goes this way in the top. There's no feather top here, but it could be a feather if we put a top to it. So I'm going to do 2 ways to show you how to do that. It's real easy to do draw arc when you have 2 points that you can do the top to. So to draw arc, we have to put our computer screen, and just leave your camera here, Joyce. But we're going to do Alt-A. And so when we do Alt-A, now we're in draw arc, and we're going to do the first click for the first point. The second click gives us the height, so I'm going to put it about that high, and the third click ends it. So then I'm going to hit exit, and we'll go to the screen and look how that now we have that top where we could do the feather top right there and make that a feather. So I'm going to delete that because I'm going to free motion that feather top, but I just wanted to show you how you could do that and use your draw arc. So let me exit out of that, and we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to put it in hand-guided mode for my free motion. And I have my stitches at 10.50 right here because I like them a little bit bigger because I move a little faster. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw up my stitch, and I put it right on the line where that's at, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to draw that feather top, and it's going to look just like that. And it's pretty close to, it's not exactly like some of the feathers, but it gives that feathery look to it. And when you stand back a little bit, you'll see that it blends in really well and makes it look like all the feathers were blended together. I actually probably could have free motioned that a little bit better, but it still blends in and looks good. So I just want to tell you, use some of your free motion skills to connect everything when you do draw trim in the center, especially with feathers and swirls and things like that that you can blend in yourself. So that's how we do that. I love to use this feature to complete the look around applique and do that little bit of free motion. Really easy to do. You're not doing a lot of free motion, but a little bit to get that complete look. And here's some photos. Now next up, we need to set that applique down so that it stands up better. So technique number 2 is draw arc and echoing that applique. So I'm going to show you some pictures without the stitching around the applique. So there's no echo stitching on these pictures, just to show you how it looks, because you'll see the difference once we do the draw arc feature. So you're going to select draw arc out of your menu. Alt A is the short version, and you're going to click it, and draw arc number 2 is always your height. And the draw arc rules are you have to start with clicks 1, 2, 3 when you select 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you're going to see here a picture of how I went all the way around, started with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and I went all the way around this flower on this applique to set it down. So here's a picture after you have done the echoing, and you see that it's all laid down, and the applique actually puffs up. So that's what we want with the echo stitching. We want that finished look, to put that stitch around it and let the applique kind of come out and extend itself so that it looks really, really pretty on our quilt. So here's some photos of that, and you can see the difference how it looks. So technique number 3 is now we need to stitch inside the applique and give it a really nice polished look. So I'm going to do the technique of stitching inside the applique next. So stitching in the applique is going to challenge you to use your free motion skills again. I did veins in these leaves just so that it looked like a real leaf, and that's pretty easy to do. In this flower petal, I actually did some stitch in the ditch on the varied fabric colors as they changed, and then I just did kind of an extension up to the end of the petal. And on this one, it is a computerized design that I just did pearls to extend out to each of the petals. But you can see the finished look of filling in that applique stitch so your applique doesn't fall on your quilt, and it secures it and gives it that nice polished look. So those are a couple of reasons why you want to stitch in your applique. Beautiful applique in the end. You don't want to overstitch it, so I'm going to show you some finished pictures of just a little bit of stitching to hold it down that blends in with the rest of your quilting and gives it that really nice, pretty look. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like us on Facebook.